I love me my superhero films, but I haven't seen all of them, so I aim to correct that. I compiled me a list of all the superhero movies from the last 20 years or so that I haven't seen, and I posted it on Twitter, and I said, "What? Dear Twitter followers, what should I watch next?" And everyone had a different opinion. Uh, Although Zachary, who co-hosted the Super Podcast Action Committee podcast and some of the early episodes of Molehill Mountain with me, said, anything but Catwoman. That one you can safely skip. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty bad. So, since there was no actual consensus over for which movie I should watch next, I thought I'll just watch them in chronological order. So, first up, yeah, Catwoman is chronologically the first movie on my list. So, sorry, Zachary, but at least we're getting it out of the way now. I'm going to say something very, very nice. Good faith nice, too. Not backhanded compliment or something. I'm going to start out very positive. This movie, Catwoman, is less than 2 hours. Now, that's not something you can say for a lot of the movies on my list. Like, I've been thinking about watching, like, Batman v Superman for a long time, and then I look at the nigh 3-hour runtime, I'm like, I don't want to. Because 3 hours is a long time to suck. That sounds dirty. But Catwoman's only an hour and 44 minutes. So, even if it's a bad movie, at least it's not that long. So, good on you, Catwoman. Alright, show description, or movie description. A shy artist acquires feline speed, agility, and keen senses following a brush with death. So I guess she didn't die and come back like I think she does in Batman Returns. Was that ever Catwoman, Selena Kyle's actual origin? Like, I thought she was just a cat burglar. Like, she's incredibly, acrobatic and very talented, but yeah, I mean, she's been around since, like, the 60s at least, so I'm sure she has multiple origins. And I've never actually read any of the actual Catwoman comic books. I've read comic books that Catwoman has been in, but I don't think I've ever actually read any of her titled series. So, I don't know what the official canon origin for Catwoman is supposed to be. But, supernatural, not supernatural, whatever. She's a cat burglar. Catwoman. Sure, movie looks bad, which is why I never bothered to see it. I also heard it was really bad, and being that this is the only movie on the list any of you actually warned me off of, I mean, at least we're getting it out of the way up front. Look, making movies is hard. Making good movies, almost impossible. So, I'm willing to bet that everyone involved in this project, behind the camera, in front of the camera, slightly to the side of the camera, I bet they all had the best of the intentions, and I bet they worked hard to make a great movie. Whether they succeeded or not remains to be seen, but I don't imagine anyone, maybe Greg, but other than Greg, I bet everyone involved with the project was not trying to make a crappy movie. Rarely does anyone actually try to make a crappy movie. So, okay. Yeah, I'm rambling because I don't want to watch this. So, alright. Catwoman, go. I was all ready to start this segment by saying, HBO Max, did you even watch the movie? Because your little summary doesn't actually describe what's in the movie. Reading it again, I remembered it wrong. See, in my head, I had heard Selena Kyle acquires feline speed, agility, and keen senses following a brush with death. And I was thinking, this isn't Selena Kyle. This is Patience Smith. Price? No. Not Patience Price. Patience Phillips? Patience Phillips? Something like that. That doesn't matter. Patience. Not Selena Kyle. I was like, it's not even Selena Kyle. It doesn't say Selena Kyle. So, sorry. Oops. However, following a brush with death, no, she literally dies. That was pretty clear in the movie, I think, that she's dead. And the goddess Bast, you know, the cat goddess, revives her because she's worthy, because she saw a cat on a ledge and crawled out on the ledge to try and save the cat. Okay. Sure. Okay. Is Catwoman really that bad? Yeah, kinda is. However, it's not the kind of bad movie that makes me angry. You know? There are some movies that are like so bad they really just make you mad. They're spit, so angry. No, this movie doesn't make me angry. It's just not very good. It's actually pretty bad. First 20 minutes, I was like, you know, it's fine. It's not offensive. It's fine. It's not good, but it's fine. And then Catwoman, it's kind of the same thing that happened with the Amazing Spider-Man. I was, you know, the first, when that movie's case, 40 minutes, because it's like 2.5 hours long. In that movie's case, the first 40 minutes, it's like, it's not good. It's definitely not good, but it's fine. It's not that bad. Then Spider-Man happened. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's bad. Same thing with this one. Catwoman comes in, you know, 20, 30 minutes in, and it's like, oh. You know, this movie's almost 20 years old now. And a lot has been said about how bad Catwoman is. So I'm going to try to say some nice things about Catwoman. Because we've had 20 years of people saying the movie sucks. And it's bad. Yeah, I would not recommend it. It's really not very good in a lot of different ways. But that's not to say there's nothing positive I can say about the movie. I bet I could come up with like at least one positive thing. There are a lot of establishing shots. So very rarely are you ever confused as to the geography of the scene or where you are. Or, okay, we're at the big chemical plant. Well, where is this in relation to not Gotham? There's a big establishing shot. There's a lot of big CG city cameras way panned out, and we're going to zoom into the location where the action happens. I appreciate that. It sets the scene. It lets me know where things are in relation to other things. It's like, well, if someone screams like, I'm being shot! Ah! Is there a residential neighborhood nearby that could hear the screams and call 911? Stuff like that. So there's a lot of that stuff. Granted, this film has some of the worst CG I have... Okay, not the worst CG I've ever seen. Probably some of the worst CG of 2004. Man, while I appreciate the establishing shots, they look really bad. Well, now I'm backhand complimenting. Stacked cast. We've got Halle Berry as is it Haley? I think Halle Berry. Halle Berry is Catwoman. Sharon Stone is in this. I didn't know that. Benjamin Bratt is in this. I didn't know that. It's not Christopher Lambert. He's got Lambert in his name somewhere. The guy who plays the Merovingian in the Matrix movies. He's in this. It's a great... the woman who plays not Selena, Patient's best friend at work. I don't know the actor's name, but she's wonderful. It's a really nice cast, and they do a nice job. I don't want a backhand compliment. No backhand compliment. Stop. Okay. Halle Berry is not bad in this movie. What she was directed to do was not the best choice they could have made. Halle Berry's a good actor. I know this. I've seen her in other stuff. It's just that, and before she becomes Catwoman, her character Patience, is a charming, dorky, but adorable person that you like. And you're like, okay, she's an artist, she works for a company, she's, shy and mousy, but, not completely introverted. She has good friends that she has a good relationship with. She's actually, she's college educated. She's not doing exactly what she wants to do with her degree. A lot of us feel that way. A lot of us in that boat there, Patience. But, she's doing the best she can. She's a pretty endearing, engaging character. So, and Halle Berry plays her really well. I think some of it opens with her, constantly walking into people. That's a bit too much, but for the most part, it is hot in here. Gosh darn it. Look at me. Look at me sweat. All 1080p's of me sweating. Okay. So the mythos here is a little bit different than any of the mythos I'm familiar with. It's actually really similar to Selena's story in Batman Returns. She works for a company. The company does bad things. She finds it out. Company kills her. She gets revived by cats. The thing I liked about how it was done in Batman Returns is there's a genuine ambiguity surrounding whether Selena actually died and was revived and got magic cat powers, or if she just had a near-death experience that broke her brain a bit. Like, all of the lives that she loses in the movie, she arguably could have survived. In this movie, no, she just dies. And is revived by cats. And now she doesn't just have magic cat powers. She seems to be, like, possessed by the spirit of Bast or something. Like, Catwoman seems to be a completely separate personality. There's still Patience. Patience is still there. But Catwoman seems to be, like, a completely different personality. Which brings me to what is probably the largest actual problem of the movie. They are myriad, but many of the problems are the tangible details, like the way Halle Berry is directed to act, with a lot of head-jerky movements and the weird stances that she does with, her... It's like, okay, Halle, all right, you're going to stand like a cat. How does a cat stand? Okay. Put your feet wide apart. Okay. Now cock your hip to one side. Like a cat does. Yes, exactly. Cock your hip to the side like a cat does, Halle. Okay. Right. Now, just like a cat, stick your butt out and your hips forward. Like that? Yes, just like a cat. Now, hunch your shoulders, but lean backwards. And make little claw things with your hands, right? No, not like this, just like a cat. Right? Now, pull your arms back. Exactly. You know, she does it. Halle Berry, bless her, is doing exactly what someone, I am assuming, unless Halle Berry is like, no, I'm going to do it like this, and the director's is like, okay, Miss Berry. I have a feeling that's just what she was directed to do, and damn it, she go and do it. And she did. And it looks ridiculous. Cats will be like sleeping and then suddenly... But they don't have that... That's not a cat. That's a bird. This is not Hawk Girl. This is Catwoman. There are a few moments I like. You know, she goes to sleep in her house, and she tends to sleep on a bunch of cushions. She tends to just walk along thin ledges. Just for no reason. She'll just jump up on the couch and walk across the ledge. She sleeps up in high places a lot. She is attracted to shiny things. You know, like cats are. That's magpies, you know. Maybe your cat is different. I have literally never known a cat that was like really attracted to shiny, sparkly things. But she has some other mannerisms that I like. Her hissing at stuff and being afraid of rain. And I saw a movie. I talked about this on monthly movie mini reviews called Miss Menos, which is about a cat who turns into a woman. So she sees a dog, she springs up into a tree and won't come down. I like that one. I thought that was kind of funny. Kind of the same idea where she's actually a cat and she crawls on all fours. And there's a really nice bit where she just sees something on a table and she goes thump, just knocks it on the floor. I love that. There's a wonderful bit where she's one bit of the sequence where she's doing the sexy femme fatale, ah ha ha, chase me thing with Benjamin Bratt's police character, where she, she slips out of his. He's like, oh, where's Catwoman? And she pops up behind him. He's like, and she's just standing behind him, and boo. Yeah, I thought that was fun. There are some bits that actually work. A lot of the what I was getting at is I think one of the main things that doesn't work about this movie is I don't think it really nailed down thematically what it was trying to do. So the cat, who is, I guess, the herald of Bast, who turned her into Catwoman, is owned by some lady who knows about this stuff. So she goes to visit the lady because the cat is wearing a weird collar that doesn't just have a tag on it. It's got like a pocket with a rolled up piece of paper with the address on it. Okay. So she goes and visits this lady who throws a ball of catnip at her, and she grabs it and goes... And I'm like, oh, God. I am so embarrassed. It's like, but man, she does it. You tell this actor to do something, damn it, she will commit. Because she is a professional. And then she's walking down the street because this movie, I don't know if it feels like they had a lot of pickups and reshoots and extra coverage to get, and they watched the dailies and they were like, oh, yeah, we're not paying for that. Because there's a lot of scenes that just cut to another scene and leave you going, oh, we're done with that scene? Where are we now? Okay. Because, seriously, she throws her the catnip ball and she catches it. She goes, that's a ball of catnip. She's like... And then it cuts to her walking down the street. I'm like, oh, I guess she left. Not her going, oh, and then runs out. That could be funny. But no, it just cuts to her walking down the street. And there's a lot of that in this movie. Theme. So she actually goes back way later in the movie, and there's this idea about taking the freedom to be your true self and finding purpose and happiness in that. Which sounds like that's kind of the thematic message of the movie, right? Except Catwoman seems to be possessed. Or Patience seems to be possessed by Cat God. It doesn't seem like she's finding her best self. It feels like she's being taken over by another entity. So it doesn't work. I think that's probably the major problem of the movie is I don't think they really nailed down what they were trying to do thematically. I can appreciate them approaching the mythos of Catwoman differently. Okay, instead of a woman who's a cat burglar and who has a cat theme and she just thinks cat stuff is fun, this character, who's not Selena Kyle, she's Patience, and she's just a cat who drinks milk. And there's a fun bit where a spoiler, she and Benjamin Bratt hook up, and he gets out of bed to go get some orange juice, and her fridge has a glass front, like it's a freezer case at a convenience store. I have never seen an apartment or home fridge with a glass front. Does anyone do that? Could they just not get a refrigerator? Did the set decorator couldn't find a fridge and they had to... It's like, look, this is... The freezer case from 7-Eleven was all we could find. I don't know. That struck me as odd, but whatever. Maybe that's how some people do. When he gets out of bed to go get his orange juice or whatever, she's sitting next to him and her hands are kneading the spot where he was laying. That is hokey as hell, but I kind of love that. Just like I like the bit where she knocks something off the table. Cats do that. Cats don't do that. No cat I've ever seen, anyway. Cats are smooth. They will occasionally go... they will startle, and they will jerk in one direction, but I've never seen them go... No. Catwoman movie. Have you ever seen a cat before? Judging by the quality of the CG cats, maybe not. Also, the CG sets are bad. The CG stunt double. I mean, for what they were trying to do with Catwoman, make her run like a cat and run up walls and jump impossible distances. You have to do a digital double, but... that didn't look good. Anyway, what I was saying is I can appreciate a different approach to the mythos. Instead of just a cat burglar, we've got a woman who's possessed by a cat and is a literal cat. A cat woman. Okay. Except the theme you seem to be going for is not supported by the actual narrative. That doesn't help. So let's talk about the costume. I can appreciate trying something new. I mean, the Catwoman's classic outfit, in fact, almost every iteration of Catwoman is wearing a cat suit. Because Catwoman. What would a Catwoman wear? A cat suit. Get it? I mean, it's so obvious. That's why, and she's a cat burglar, so it seems like a pretty decent thing. Dark colors, easy movement, not gonna, it's tight, so it's sexy, but it's also not gonna get hung up on stuff. Makes sense, right? Okay. But we've seen that, so what are we gonna do here? Ripped leather pants and a leather bra with, crossing bandoliers. Oh, that's different. Why, though? Why? How does this inform our character? What can we take away from this? In Batman Returns, Michelle Pfeiffer wears essentially a cat suit. But this one is that really torn, stitched together with white thread. It's a very unique look, and one I don't recall ever seeing in any other medium. I think that one's pretty exclusive to the Tim Burton film. And it's a great look. And it's not just arbitrary. It informs the character. Because the costume, like the woman wearing it, is literally fraying at the seams. You know, it's patchwork. It's bunches of pieces, you know, hastily knitted together and are about to come apart. Metaphor, right? And it looks cool. This, I don't know. I mean, her friends gift her an emergency dating outfit, which is leather pants and a leather jacket, which she wears at one point and is actually kind of a neat look. And then I guess she just tears the hell out of the pants and then cuts the jacket into a bra and then crafts some bandoliers, and I don't know why. Because it's sexy! Yeah, so was the original outfit, but I don't know. There's a bit in the movie where Catwoman in the cartoons and comics does this all the time, where she do the claws, and she goes to she's breaking into a building, so she's thump against a pane of glass, and then squeak, and then pulls out a perfect little circle of glass, so she can reach in and unlock the door, right? They do that in this movie, and that's neat. She goes thump, screech, pulls out the glass, and then it cuts to her walking through a door. Was it unlocked? Did she not need to take the glass out? Did we really need to save the second and a half it would have taken to have to shoot the hand going through the hole and unlatching the window or door or whatever it was? Apparently. And the movie is full of stuff like that. Stuff that it's like, I mean, I can put two and two together. She made a hole in the glass. I can fill in the blanks myself. She obviously reached through and unlatched it, but it's kind of weird that you didn't shoot that one, that you shot it and cut it, or didn't think to shoot. Again, it feels like they had a bunch of pickups to do that they just didn't bother doing because someone saw the dailies and were like, "Oh no, I'm not putting any more money into this." No. So, there's a bit where the scene where she apologizes to Benjamin Bratton, buys him coffee, and writes sorry on the cup. As Catwoman, she steals a bunch of jewels from a jewelry store and then returns them the next day and leaves like a paper bag full of jewels with sorry written on it and a box of cupcakes, which was really funny. I like that. She didn't just return them into a bag with she like bought them cupcakes. I love that's except the police officer who is like, cupcakes! It's like, I can see what they are. Were we afraid the audience wouldn't recognize cupcakes? I mean, figure out a better way to do that if you're afraid the audience won't recognize a box of cupcakes when they see it. I mean, you could even have her go, she gave us cupcakes! She must have felt really bad about robbing this place. That's great. It's something, anything. Do a character thing with it. Cupcakes? No. Bad dialogue, bad. So he has the cup with the sorry and the bag with the sorry, and it's like, well, those look the same. And then they have this scene with a handwriting analysis dude who, the dialogue is so bad that it feels like it was cut from two versions of the scene. Like they wrote the scene to be like they matched, and then they changed their mind and wrote it again so that they didn't match, but then they used portions of both scenes. it's a really confusing scene. It ultimately ends up being like, well, it's probably two different people, and I think what they're going for is Catwoman and Patience are two distinct personalities, which again gets in the way of the theme that they're actually trying to do. There's another bit where so after they sleep together, he suspects that she's Catwoman because, she looks and sounds exactly the same. It'd be kind of funny if she takes her shirt off and he's like, "Oh my God, you're Catwoman!" It's like, oh shit. Catwoman stands around in a bra. Now I'm in my bra. That would have been funny to me. They don't do that though. So he gets up in the middle of the night and he grabs her glass and he sees the lipstick stain on it. And then he has that, he takes the cup and he's like, compare this lipstick stain to the lipstick that was on my cheek when I fought Catwoman earlier. And I was like, but she didn't kiss you on the cheek. She licked you on the cheek. It's another thing this movie does. I mean, she's I think they're trying to homage Julie Newmar and Eartha Kitt and Michelle Pfeiffer with a bunch of perfect and the way she intonates in a few things and her meow. And a couple, it doesn't come off as homage, it just comes off as just cloying, pandering, embarrassing crap. To be fair, after she licks him right up the cheek, he does have a lipstick stain, but that at best would have been from her top lip, and when you put a glass in your mouth, it's your bottom lip that presses against the front of the glass. So we'd be comparing the bottom lip from the glass and the top lip from his cheek. Her bottom lip did not touch his cheek because her tongue was in the way, right? Oh well. The movie starts with a narration from Catwoman saying something along the lines of, "This story starts the day I died." But before that, and then it zooms back to show what led up to her dying. And I'm like, well, then it doesn't start there, does it? This story begins the day I died. But before we get there, and then it literally backs up. I'm like, you see her floating there in the water? Nope, this is not where we start because it doesn't start there. Oh, we're off to a good start. So she fights Sharon Stone at the end. And she kicks her off a roof. She falls to her death. And Benjamin Bratt shows up, and he's been hurt. And oh, no. And she's like, I may not be a hero, but I'm not a killer. And Benjamin Bratt has this look on his face like, didn't you just kick her out the window? I mean, she just fell to her death because you just kicked her a bunch of times towards an open window, which she fell through to her death. I mean, she was hanging on the ledge and you did try to reach her, but I mean, she fell to her death because of you. I mean, it's not first degree murder, but that's definitely manslaughter. I think, maybe. I may not be a hero, but I'm not a killer. You just kicked Sharon Stone off a roof to her death. They do this thing, here's another problem. Sharon Stone's the bad guy. Spoilers for a nearly 20-year-old movie that I don't recommend you watch anyway. So she and her husband, the Merovingian, run the evil corporation. And Catwoman thinks that the Merovingian is the bad guy. And so she tries to team up. She's like, Sharon Stone, the Merovingian's the bad guy. You need to get away from him, and you need to help me take down the company because you guys are selling poison and it's hurting people. And so when Catwoman learns that Sharon Stone is the bad guy, it comes as a great shock to Catwoman. But it doesn't come as a great shock to the audience because we already knew that Sharon Stone was the bad guy. Not because we figured it out, but because the movie told us. Giving the movie the benefit of the doubt, maybe the movie thinks that makes it more tense. It's like, oh no, Catwoman, she's the bad guy, watch out! Maybe. I think it would have been better if we, the audience, learned that Sharon Stone was the bad guy when Catwoman did. Oh no, Sharon Stone is the bad guy all along? Gee whiskers. That might have worked better. But how many successful writing credits do I have under my belt? 0, so what do I know? How long have I been talking? A long, long time. So time to wrap this up. Catwoman is not a good movie. I don't recommend you watch it. But it's not like it ran over my dog. I don't have a dog, but you understand. It's not a movie that makes me mad. I didn't hate it. I wasn't angry at it. It didn't offend my delicate little sensibilities. It's just not a good movie. But as I said in the beginning, at the very least, it's a bad movie that has the good sense to not be more than 2 hours long. It's only 1 hour and 3/4. So it certainly has that going for it. All right. I don't remember what comes next. I'll have it in the credits, but everyone seemed to be in agreement that this is probably the worst one of the batch. So all uphill from here, right? Right?